Hello and welcome to the Borderline Hooligans podcast. Today with me here
Oh man, I figured you were gonna do that.
is Brady,
Hello.
Aaron,
Hey yo.
and Brandon or Brian. Which one do you want to go with? I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
Odie. I answer to both.
All right, and I'm Alex. So, what we got today, boys? What's new? What do you want to talk about, or am I just going to jump into my crazy rants?
You jumping into crazy rants.
Okay. You guys want to talk about space and how fucking weird it is?
I'm only not even a full beer in, but I think that's conversation for another time.
Let's save the conspiracy theories for when we're a little deeper.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
I
Just
know.
space in general.
It's just space in general. It's so fucking weird.
Nut.
Yes, I'm gonna. You know, it's impossible to nut in space. You have to have gravity in order to come.
That's a fact. I feel
Brady went to space himself and tried it.
That is a
I
fact.
feel the need to fact check you on that.
I am pretty sure that is true.
Can
I don't
you
know where
nut
I
in
got it from,
space?
but like, you can't get a hard on and you can't come.
Is that like in a spacesuit or like
It's in 0G.
if you're in 0G, if you were in the satellite in space, you still couldn't.
Yeah, you just be blue balled forever.
God, astronauts get zero puss.
This doesn't even seem real.
No wonder so many
One hell of a
Ohioans go
Can
to
you
space.
nut in
Did you
space?
see one of the one of the suggestions was, can you nut in Spanish?
Does when you ejaculate in space, does it push you? What happens if an astronaut goes nut in space?
No,
Goes
it
nuts.
goes nuts.
Goes
As
nuts.
Oh,
Like loses their mind.
Goes nut.
Nut.
There's been some big
Big
energy in
energy.
orbit the past couple
Jeez,
of weeks.
right, so skip down to where.
It actually answers the
Says, yeah.
questions. I'm willing to bet it doesn't. I'm willing to bet it's just a clickbait.
What?
That deserves to be quoted right here.
He would get a boner that could have drilled through kryptonite.
Maybe I'm wrong. What the fuck?
Some nice, colorful movies.
Dr. Brad reckons it is physically possible.
Okay. Well, I guess I was wrong.
Wrong.
Damn, astronauts
Wrong.
do get puss.
Damn it.
To nut or not to nut?
Hmm.
That is the question.
Masturbation is good for you. It says it right there, guys.
Helps your prostate.
It does. It also
Help
helps
you fall
your.
asleep, apparently.
It also helps your
I
mental
can
state.
fact check that.
I've fact that checked many times. No. It also helps your mental state a lot. Apparently.
Yeah, it's called post-nut clarity.
Well, not even that. Just like going without it, the male urge, biology wise or whatever.
Oh.
The masculine
Wait
urge
a
to
minute.
nut.
Just read this
yeah.
line right here. Dr. Brad says because you're in a microgravity, liquid literally just floats everywhere.
Oh,
So, whenever someone says they literally got jizzed everywhere,
Oh man.
they're in space.
Literally
Oh.
everywhere.
Literally
everywhere.
everywhere.
I wonder how they found that out.
Someone came in space, or peed, or pooped.
Actually,
Or
I do
spilled
know
a
that they
cup.
actually have to have like special vacuum systems so that when they piss, it like can't go everywhere because it will if they do.
Yep.
I have actually seen a TikTok about that.
Brady has TikTok.
Oh, Brady looks at tweens, dancing.
No,
E-girls.
no.
Weeb.
What does e-girls have anything to do with weeb?
Weeb. Most e-girls dress up
Yeah.
as anime girls.
Got me there, but
So.
that's it. Says the guy who watches more anime than anybody sitting
Oh,
here.
by the way, Attack on Titan came out with some dub.
Gonna have to check that out.
It was Sunday. They came out with episode 76.
You watching it?
No, I have not. I have not watched it yet. I saw it, and I was already watching other things, and then I started doing some more DM studying.
Yeah, I need to check that out. I also need to find a way to watch the last season of My Hero
because
Academia.
Funimation's acting weird.
Brendan doesn't understand.
I do not.
You the only 2 animes I'll watch. So.
Brian, how was your new job?
Oh, you got
I
a
was
new
gonna ask
job?
about that. Yes, he works
I-
at. I guess we could.
We
say the
can
name and
bleep
bleep it. I'm not sure if they're a global company or if they're just local. I think
Oh.
they're just local.
Well, if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan at the moment. No,
No.
There's a reason
not really.
that I didn't go there.
I mean, so far in Brennan's life, he has only worked like small time gigs. Really, I mean,
like part time.
not really part time,
But
but just
like-
Stress free.
not even necessarily stressful.
So what are you trying to get
Well,
at
if you
here?
say
Like,
stress free,
I mean,
Brady's
you
worked
work
only stress free
it's
jobs.
detailing with your uncle and working with your cousin making food. It's never been like a. I don't know. how
He's
to
worked
describe
as a DJ.
I worked at a radio
it.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are you trying to get at here?
He hasn't worked blue collar. That's what you're getting at.
Still not that. I don't know what I'm getting at.
Detailing is blue collar.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even know what you technically consider blue collar, like
It's
what
basically-
the definition is. But
Well, working man.
Hands on,
man.
typically. Like our job
I've
is blue
only
collar.
ever
We're
worked
all
blue collar.
for blue collar. All 4 of us, blue collar.
So why don't you like it?
Well, because I had the idea going in that it was going to be. I mean, I had a lot to learn, regardless, because it has to do with electrical stuff. But I assumed it was going to be like maintenance and running checks and tests on stuff that was already
Not installs.
installed. Well, so these past couple days here, I've been working at a school that's being built around Springfield, and pretty much it does it deals with construction. So like, got all kinds of different other construction jobs working together in the same place, which and that's Aaron's background, but it's not mine. And so I don't know. Not the
A little overwhelming.
not the career path that I really intended on taking.
Doesn't one of your relation own the company?
Yeah, what you were talking about earlier.
That's what I thought.
But yeah, not a big fan so far.
How long are you going to give until you find out if you're going to leave or not?
That's the thing. I have no idea how long do you take that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it a month or 2.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
you don't
would-
have anything going on otherwise pressing. I mean, give it
I
a
would
shot.
I'll give it max 3.
Yeah.
And if you're at 3 months and you're like, I want out, start looking for a new job, stake it out until you get a new job.
And you've done better than me. I've never actually technically applied for a job, so
You just showed up and started working.
no, literally.
No, literally you
I didn't
call
have a
there
job.
and they just give you a job.
No, so I didn't have a job because I got laid off from the chicken farm. And one night, my dad he told me several times I had to get a job somewhere. Wasn't trying too hard, not gonna lie. But my dad came home from work one day and was just like, "Yeah, Ron says you start on Saturday. You said you coming in with me and you'll start on Saturday." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Didn't ask for a job at Ohio Recycling. Didn't ask Dad to ask for a job. Just
He
kind
was tired
of
of you being at home.
just kind of happened, and here we are, almost probably 5 years later.
You know what my dad did when I was employed during school or during high school? He forced me to work on the farm. And
I
it was
didn't have
not
that option,
fun.
but
The reason it wasn't fun because I was literally doing everything. I
my
was scraping
first-
every day, and
my first job at the chicken farm was kind of the same way. Like one night, I was literally, I remember this. I didn't have any plans of working at the chicken farm. I was just riding around one of them like ripstick scooter things with the 2 things that come out, so you stand with your legs kind of spread and you wiggle back and forth and it moves. I was riding one of them. I'm literally like 13, and what would have been my boss, my neighbor at the time, was over just hanging out, and my mom was just like, "Hey, would you be okay if Brady just started working on the chicken farm?" Didn't bring it up to me, just kind of was like, "Yeah, would you be okay with that?" And he was just like, "Sure." I started that summer.
I can't
Like,
say
it just-
no now.
It just kind
I
of.
should have made you applied to be a part of the podcast. Just you because
Just-
you never applied.
just
for a
so I
job.
had to apply for a job. I have a resume. Don't think I've ever had to give it
It's
to
probably not
anybody.
updated either. No, it probably is.
Technically, yeah. Nothing has changed since.
Well,
Yeah, it is
you
updated.
graduated college. You probably got to
I
change
think it's
that.
on there.
Okay.
I think I updated it.
Oh, you probably used it for Honda and.
Actually, Lincoln Electric. I used it for there.
I'm
but
glad you didn't get
I
in there,
never,
honestly.
I never. Yeah, it's me too. But I never had a actual like.
Well, you
I
have
guess I
applied.
technically
You
did.
applied.
You're right.
You
I
never,
did
and you
apply.
interviewed.
Right. I actually have, but
Probably
they weren't interested in me.
They weren't interested in anybody with less than 5 years experience. The reason they hired me is because they
had
needed
some.
someone now.
Yeah. I didn't have any
And
experience. Still don't.
It was between me and my boss told me at the time, like 3 other guys, and I was the only one that had any experience whatsoever, like any, with electric or trade
true.
or anything. They were basically just straight out of high school, like farm experience.
I'm only gonna mention one work story because I know if I start talking about work stories,
Oh
I'll get on
Jesus!
every
Here we
rant.
go again.
But when I applied for Lincoln Electric, they told me they would call me back and tell me, give me information on my interview, whatever, and it would be sometime after 4:00. And I am, or after 3 maybe. I am literally at my boss's house mowing lawn, and I can feel my phone start vibrating in my pocket because for that, I usually don't carry my phone at work. And I knew I was gonna get a call after a certain time, so like I would just put it in my pocket around that time and just expect it. I'm literally mowing lawn at my boss's house, and I get this phone call, so I like turn the mower off, and I'm just like talking, sitting here in a mower, actively trying to get a different job. Didn't work out, but
I did, before I got fired at Lincoln Electric, I did 4 interviews over the phone while working.
Like during work hours.
Yeah.
That's funny as
But
fuck.
I was actually working too because I had those earbuds or whatever, not earbuds. What the fuck? Earbuds in, so I was just talking. It looked like I was talking to myself.
Like, wow.
I mean,
look
they
at
already
that
probably-
fucking loser.
they probably already thought you were nuts. But
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not
I
going to
always
get into
thought
that.
you were crazy. Now I can see you're nuts.
Oh, thank you.
Did you see the GM?
Super Bowl one, yes.
If it wasn't about electric vehicles, I will admit the actual like plot of the characters stuff. If they could just leave the electric vehicles out of it, I thought that commercial was pretty good.
I thought it was good either way.
Fourth one is coming.
Is it?
That got us pumped on something like, oh yeah!
And we can obviously tell that Mike Myers can still play Dr. Evil. I mean, you
Yep.
couldn't tell me he looks any older than he did back in the.
Seth
90s.
Green looks the exact same.
You're right, he does. They all
Time
did,
traveler.
really.
They didn't have Robert Wagner as number 2, but they had Rob Lowe,
I didn't
who
even
played
pay
the young
attention to
one.
I
Yeah,
didn't
so,
even pay attention to that.
so really,
yeah.
he could play
Right.
number 2.
Did number 2 die?
No, he's still alive. He's just older.
Right, it looks a lot older. Those movies, the third one
No, I
came
mean
out
like in the movie.
early 2000s.
No,
Number 2, he died at least once. He died in the first one.
no,
Because he was.
they brought him back.
yeah.
Probably because they didn't think they were gonna have a sequel. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, now we gotta bring
Yeah,
this guy
but
back.
they didn't explain it. They just kind of.
They have to explain those
No,
movies,
they
really.
don't. But it's just like he brought it back.
They
Technically, he
also
died.
brought back Will Ferrell's character.
No, they went back in time for that.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, you're right.
Because he got killed off in the first one, but then they went back like 30 years in the second one.
And then like the same thing happened twice.
Yep.
That is such a funny thing that Austin Powers do is like they'll reuse the same joke just in a different scene, and for whatever reason it's just as fucking funny as the first time. And then they actually call themselves out for it in a third movie with Ozzy Osbourne. Boobs, Ozzy. What a fucking scene. Fucking boobs. Can't understand a word he's saying.
He's even worse now.
I believe that.
Well, I mean, you spend the 70s and 80s high as fuck screaming your
Not to
lungs
mention
out.
the 60s.
Yeah, screaming your lungs out, high as shit,
Also,
24/7.
It's mostly the dope
the
part.
guy that was literally known for
Yeah.
biting the head off a bat.
Apparently,
lie.
he thought
That's-
it was because someone handed it to him from the crowd. So apparently, he thought it was fake.
And then he
'Cause
bit
it was
it
already
off.
dead.
Yeah, I've heard this. He bit it off, and then he just like went with it after that. Like he thought
could-
it was fake. He just
And he tore the head off,
with his-
realized
ripped
it was
off with his
real.
mouth.
and then went with it.
Well, yeah, you can't just be like, oh fuck, ruin the show. You just gotta go with it, man. He's done other things that are insane as well.
I mean, in the movie Dirt, apparently when he was hanging out with Motley Crue, he peed at the side of a pool and then licked it up.
I've also heard that. So
Interesting guy.
Don't do drugs, kids.
don't do drugs. That's
Nope. Do drugs responsibly.
highly disagree.
Don't do hardcore drugs.
There you go.
Weed is a gateway drug.
Please don't do cocaine. Cocaine ruin your brain.
Jeez.
We're just gonna reference things for an entire hour.
That is all I do is reference things.
That is very true. Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
How do you define the word up?
What?
How do you define it?
How do you define up?
Is this like one of your high thoughts?
Yes.
Pixar movie from the mid 2000s.
The word.
Actually, it was in 2009.
Really?
It's still the 2000s.
Maybe a little later.
He
than
said
that,
mid
but
2000s.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I was thinking like 2012ish, but
That was that mid 2000s. That's 2010s.
yeah, you got me.
That's the naughties.
Naughties.
No, but seriously,
Opposite
How do we
down.
just define
up. How would you define it?
opposite of down? I'd
Then how do you define down?
opposite up, motherfucker.
Are we going to have to look this up again?
Well, I have an answer.
Oh, jeez.
I'm actually
Okay,
curious
hold
to know
this
what
way.
the
This way.
definition is. I'm not gonna.
Do you,
But-
you guys have any guesses at all?
No.
I define up as the opposite of the nearest force of gravity. That's the only way it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Probably be something basic on there.
It's probably going to say like above
Toward
your head.
a
Toward a
higher,
higher place
place,
or
or
position.
position.
Yeah, but if you go into space,
Back to the fucking space talk.
That's what he's aiming for. He's trying to get into space talk.
I'm trying to get us to rant about something, and I'm
Or ran about plenty. I wanted to mention, speaking of the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl happened a couple days ago for us. The
it'll be
The
about a
com-
week ago for you guys.
yeah, but the commercial that some random company spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a colored QR code bounce around the screen like the old
No, you know what that
DVD.
was?
No, I don't.
No, if you actually look that up, it was actually like it's $15 in Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah, you had like 2 days to redeem it.
Damn, that blows. Missed out on that one.
Bitcoin's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but-
Odell Beckham, he took his $570,000 something dollar contract all in Bitcoin. It's now worth 35,000.
Yeah.
that's gonna blow.
Yeah, it's going down. Cryptocurrency is not stable at all.
I seen that commercial and was like, mad respect. Whatever company spent that much money just to not put their name on anything, just bouncing around.
It did
And it did for a while.
use
the
the
end.
name with the blue screen. Yeah.
At the very end, it did, but it took them that long, and they got plenty of people's interest by that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Plenty. Like I sat here thinking, wow, is this gonna end soon? Because every second this goes on, it just gets more fucking expensive for them. Super Bowl commercials are not cheap at all.
How much are they now for a minute? Can you look that up?
I gotta look it up. Yeah, it's insane.
A couple years ago, it was, 1 minute was $1 million, but it's got to be more now.
It's like 3
Oh.
million, 30 million.
It's
It's for 30 seconds. I think it's 3 million.
commercial in 2022.
It's not even an option.
Just in this year.
Yeah,
like,
this
whatever.
year worked too.
Click. There you go.
Hit the 51.
It make me really scroll to the bottom for this.
Yes.
Of course.
2021.
So they only have
2021,
last year, but
That's
5.5
for
million.
30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
For 30-second commercial.
Wow.
And this stuff is not adjusted for inflation, though, probably.
No.
So you take that for 67. That's still really fucking expensive. They were talking about on the radio the other day, and I can't remember what the number adjusted for inflation was, but it was pretty high. Like, it was still for the first Super Bowl, it was really high. But
I mean, so
five-
it can only go up.
that
it went down
company,
from last
that
or from-
company had at least a 30-second ad. They spent $5.5 million for a fucking colored QR code to bounce across the screen. And then one of my coworkers mentioned, I didn't even realize this, but the ad only ended once the QR code hit the corner.
Satisfaction.
You know,
right
everybody always like the DVD loading screen or whatever.
Mm.
That's what I want to do for our static. I'm gonna have to find some way to do that.
That's the thing, though. They're spending all this money on that one commercial, and they're not even creative anymore. Like, these commercials
they
suck.
No
I
wonder
give them
that's why it
terrible.
went down.
The thing is, though, actually, it did go down. But the thing is, though, for them, all they need to do is get somebody to be talking about it. And what are we doing right now? All they got to do is stand out above the rest, and they did.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're saying how awful they are.
the rest
I
of them.
actually
The rest of
disagree.
them.
I thought it
Probably
was
doesn't matter to them. If
kinda
you
cool.
like
Well,
it.
I've never
No,
seen
we're
one
talking about-
yet, so
As a product, like, as a whole, all the commercials, because we always talk about that.
Well, yeah.
All the commercials as a whole. And they haven't been good for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So I got a question here.
I liked the couple years ago the Post Malone Bud Light seltzer
Well,
commercial.
but
That one was
overall-
good.
they're
Yeah.
overall not.
They've gotten highly less political recently, which is really cool.
Not this year.
I didn't think there was that many.
They were pushing race pretty hard.
But
So
they,
was the
did,
halftime show.
they didn't pull.
One white guy, the whole show.
I know, not even any of the dancers.
And they had to get, like, the blackest white guy to fill their quota.
I mean,
Help
I also
wanted.
did.
One
It wasn't
white
your
guy.
thing. You're not a rap music guy, but I didn't hate certain parts of it. Literally, the only thing that bugged me about the halftime show was that there was dancers on the hoods of classic cars.
Oh,
That's
piss me
the only
off.
thing that bugged me.
You think those cars were real?
Yes.
Think so?
Okay. Why would they use fake ones? It costs so much more.
And would it be just to buy
buy
an
'em.
old classic car?
Yeah.
I would actually prefer them be fake though.
I would
The
prefer it, but
the one
they
thing
definitely
that makes
didn't.
me believe they're real is that they had the whole white, like everything was white, theme to like all the buildings and everything. And there was 3 cars. The 2 on the right were pure white, and for whatever reason, the one on the left was like a off-white, tanny white.
Like a cream one?
Yeah, I don't know
Brown.
why. I don't know if they just like happened to
whatever the fuck you
text
say.
everybody in the nearest area with a white lowrider, and they could only get 2 pure white ones, and
Yeah.
or maybe it was just the way I thought it was, but I could have swore the one was not actually pure white. I love lowriders as well. It does kind of bug me they're pure white. I prefer the more ornate like pinstriping. If they'd have been like white with a slight different color white pinstriping, it'd been sweet, but
I wish NBC did a better job with their commercials. Obviously, theirs played the
Yes.
most because they're the network that the Super
it's so
Bowl is on.
boring.
Well, every single one of them I didn't care for.
Same thing with HBO Max. They were just regular ads. They were like, this show coming to HBO Max, and they would show clips of it, and it's like, that's not standing out.
It doesn't really cost anything to promote yourself, though, so they probably just...
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
NBC doesn't have to worry about it, really. But HBO Max, holy shit. Waste
Well, I'm
your
pretty
money.
sure...
NBC probably,
NBC probably owns them.
Probably.
Or Comcast, I think, is who is the big conglomerate for NBC.
I thought
Who
the
are the-
Arnold Schwarzenegger skit was pretty funny, where he played a Zeus.
I remember it,
Played
but
as
I
Zeus
don't...
or played as
Played
Zeus?
as Zeus in the
Okay.
commercial.
Really, they're not going to show the full stage?
Of course they're not.
I just want like a zoomed out picture so I can see the 3 cars, but
Just type in the car.
I don't bet you nobody, well, maybe. And nobody cares
Nope.
about the cars.
Of course they
Even if
don't.
they say stage. Could have swore one of them was off white though, and it kind of bugged me as well. But
Nope.
Pieces of shit. Also, does anybody know who this lady was that was involved in this? I don't never heard of her.
Her music was really popular in the very early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard
Like
of
2000, 2001.
Well, it'll tell you right here, probably.
It's a Mary something.
her. I don't know, when they said all the names of who was going to be in the halftime show, I recognized all of them but hers.
Yeah.
And I was like, who in the hell are you? I did hear a lot of people complaining about someone of her age wearing what she was, but
Where the fuck? What do you want?
You're not gonna find these
No, I'm not.
cars.
You're
That's
not
kind of
gonna
annoying.
find them.
Just quit searching.
Yeah, just give up.
it bugs me.
This is about as your work rants that you keep going on.
Yeah.
Well, I
Listen
gotta
here.
find it. I gotta find it.
I don't know. I see people standing on the hoods of their vehicles. Snap, it's a beater, it's a fucked up car. Go ahead and do what you're gonna do. Stand on the hood of it. But if it's a nice vehicle, truck, car, whatever it is, doesn't matter what brand it is. Even
Put
for
some
me.
fucking respect on it.
Yeah, and I will understand like older cars would probably hold up to that better than newer ones would, for sure. But still, they were literally dancing on the hood. There's no way they don't put dents in that unless they put some kind of support underneath it or something.
They probably didn't.
I would just hope they would.
No, you got to realize.
They probably would for the safety of the performers, because if that would go
It'd be about
down
the only
suddenly,
thing.
Okay, that'd be the only reason.
Unless the hoods on those cars are stronger than I think they are, but I don't think they would be impervious to any damage from dancing on a hood of it.
from
No.
the sounds of it, it didn't sound like any of the performers made any money off the show.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It was more of just a social justice reform, whatever.
For all I
Would've.
know, those cars might not even be running cars. But still, it would bug me.
Well,
I'm just weird like that,
We're-
though.
you're
I
dealing
can't stand
with-
to watch old vehicles be destroyed.
you're dealing with Hollywood. You got to remember that.
They don't give a flying fuck.
No,
They
They
could buy
don't.
10 of those cars.
they'll take 10 of those cars
They can put them in a movie
Smash
and
'em.
destroy them, yeah.
and destroy them when they're perfect condition and not care.
That's why I thought it was funny. The Dukes of Hazzard, they
Oh, my.
had a lot of
This is painful.
What?
This is painful.
Well, yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard was painful, but a lot of the cars they used in the filming of Dukes of Hazzard were definitely not in perfect condition. Like a lot of the cast members would talk about how if you paid attention to certain clips and scenes from the Dukes of Hazzard TV show, you could see that certain cars had like body lines that were missing because they were so full of Bondo. Like they were so like they just took any car they could get, they're 68 Chargers.
70.
Charger.
There was a couple of
I,
years.
thi- I think it was. It would have been 70. I think.
They
It would've
didn't
been
use
70.
the.
It
I know
was
they
in the
weren't
60s.
always the same year because they used a couple different years because they mentioned like some of them had marker lights in different positions because different years had different, slightly different parts.
Marker lights.
And but like they said, yeah, like some of the, like sometimes the body line in certain places be completely missing because it's full of Bondo to fill up rust and dents and. So they may look like perfect cars, but they weren't ruining nothing spectacular.
No, but they are still
I know.
ruining classic cars.
A lot of them.
Yes.
When did Dukes of Hazzard come out?
It was like 80s and 90s.
It was earlier than that, ain't
The
it?
first episode was in like 78 or 79.
They used the
and
actual.
You gotta
then-
think those cars in that time weren't classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they were
They-
still pretty valued.
They were
Right, they're valued, but they weren't like looked upon as classics.
They weren't
Let
classics at
me
the time, but they were
Hold on.
very valuable still.
My uncle has a Buick Centurion or Centurion,
Centurion,
whatever.
Rome.
He bought it. The car was 10 years old. And he told me that that was a classic car when he bought it. So the car was already 10 years old, only 10 years old. And it was considered classic. So it was because the cars took a huge turn for how long they last and all that sort of stuff. They didn't rust out as much and all that. So these cars were rare to come by because they didn't last. So that was what made them classic.
And by the time the show was made, the muscle car era was over. They had
Yeah.
changed over, and the whole aesthetic of those types of vehicles was just gone.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Gas
gone.
crisis,
It
stuff
wasn't.
like that.
It wasn't gone. I would say it was down.
No,
It
have you
wasn't
seen
gone.
the difference between like
It's a huge difference.
Yes, I know that, but there's still going to be people out there who still like the muscle look, no matter
no,
what year.
like the aesthetic went down. Like the
Oh,
vehicles
yeah,
made
yeah.
at the time were way down in terms of aesthetic,
Yes. Okay. I see what you're
overall
saying. Now.
coolness.
So I watch a YouTube channel called VinWiki, where they basically get a bunch of popular, famous people in the car industry together, and they like tell stories of like things they've experienced and stuff. Well, there's this one guy that gets on there every once in a while. I don't remember his name, but he is a sucker for like Hollywood cars and specifically Dukes of Hazzard. And he actually went to he knew some of the people that worked on the show and stuff like that just by getting to know them, by being very interested in the show. He went and found out where the scrapyard was, where a lot of like the old cop cars and stuff went to be destroyed or whatever, or gotten rid of. I think he got a tip from somebody being like, "Hey, this is a spot where a lot of like these cars ended up from this part of the show or whatever." Well, he went to find. He just wanted one of the cop cars from that was in the Dukes of Hazzard show. That's all I wanted. I ended up finding a couple of those, and then unknowingly found the original, generally like the first one. And then actually the first one ended up they kind of like trace back the history. They didn't realize it was the original one at first. They had the I guess when they made the show, they made their own like it's not really a VIN plate, but like they marked each number of one they had, and that one was like 001. It was the original one. But what happened to that one was it was used in the show, eventually jumped, and when they jumped them, they actually filled the trunk with cement. Because otherwise they were really nose heavy with a heavy motor in the front, so they would nosedive when they jumped them. So they had to put cement in the trunk to level them out in the air, and then after it was jumped, it was used as like basically a set piece. Like they painted it a complete different color and used it as like a background car. And I think it ended up getting like sideswiped by a cop car or something as well. And it was like basically almost completely destroyed, and then left here at the scrapyard to be, long forgotten, but it did actually get fully restored from the original. And I can't remember exactly how they did it, but they said it was very painstaking to get all the cement out of the trunk, which
Obviously.
yeah.
Right.
And he doesn't own it anymore. He ended up selling it to somebody else. I don't remember who owns the original generally now, but it's insane to think that just because like it was the original car, they went through that much effort to bring it back from being jumped, from all of that.
Well, think of it this way: if we do this for years and years, imagine these mics just get tucked away. You know what I mean? Be a
Yeah.
little sentimental.
Wow,
Sentimental.
nice. I'm having a stroke right now.
Yes.
I don't know how to spell.
Won't the
the hell is
original
going on?
we?
Type.
Let's just start this
Start
over
over.
again.
Fuck.
I think the space bar broke.
No, seriously. That was not me. I know I pressed the space bar.
Sure.
Brady's having a mid
Well,
stroke.
It is. It's one of the first wireless keyboards that was ever produced. So
Oh. Brady broke it.
Okay, so it is, yeah.
I don't even.
John Schneider.
He
Snyder.
was one of the actors in the show.
Which one was he Boba Luke? I don't remember.
So
So I can never remember which one was which. I'm pretty sure John Snyder's the one now that actually has his own YouTube channel.
Oh.
And he owns a couple of these cars. He actually made a video where he did do the like slide across the hood thing that everybody always thinks classically from
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
I really wish people weren't so against that show.
Not the show.
It's the dumbest fucking reason.
Yeah, you're right. But we're not supposed to get political on the podcast.
That's not political. That's just my opinion that
Bubba
they're
Watson
fucking
owned
stupid.
At 1.2.
Okay. We're gonna sit here and read web pages all day if we just keep looking shit up.
Yeah. Pretty good at that.
This
Yeah, I
can
know
all
you
get
are.
cut out.
Yeah, the
later.
silences will get cut out.
Oh.
So don't worry, audience. You're not gonna know how long we just sit here
Yeah.
and read web pages.
I think they understand that. So we should probably cut that out too.
Oh, I'm gonna cut it.
I
And to them, it's
spend-
gonna look like I have God internet and we can read so fucking fast.
I feel like half of my conversations are literally me either talking about work stories for hours, or I'll just proceed to talk about weird fact after weird fact and then trying to look up different weird facts to bounce off of that.
I don't blame you.
I had an idea for something a little different. I know I brought up to you guys, like Aaron had left one night. So I'm a hockey fan, big time hockey fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the air horns.
And I was gonna have you guys listen to every NHL goal horn. It sounds like it'd take forever, but it actually doesn't. Like they've
How
got,
long is there like a video?
So like there are compilation videos on YouTube. Basically, it just plays the horn and then a little bit of
Silence and then
song.
next more.
so.
Hype away, my friend.
I guess Brennan can't really see the screen as well as we
Which
can.
is the
The
is this the browser here?
no, over to the left. Left.
Left.
I
I
didn't know which one the browser was. I have
The
to use
screen's
this
so
app.
big now. I can't reach to point at it.
The left thing is a reference to the Ford Mustang taillights that go like when you're
Yes.
turning.
I know.
Do.
Yeah,
It was some old, I think it was a Vine. Of
was
some
a
guy
Vine.
just going la left, la left, la left.
All right, Brady has a point about this thing.
I told you.
So I
it's-
wasn't having a stroke.
no.
No. I'm
Wait.
sorry that I mocked you before. This thing is stupid.
I don't know why, but
Brandon and Brady are both having a stroke.
nice.
You want to know the reason that we're using this? Because we only have, after all the mics and shit, we have one for USB slot. So these two together use one.
I don't know how that works, but
That is the reason why. If you want a different keyboard, I'm gonna have to unplug the mouse too.
All right, so I'm gonna play this video. I don't know if we have to give a copyright disclaimer, but
Well,
we don't own
okay, no,
any
no,
of
no.
this content.
Stop.
Or
they're
anything.
gonna hear this.
They're not gonna hear it.
Okay, they're not gonna hear it.
You
so basically,
guys-
we're just gonna cut to the end, and then
So-
you guys are gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So this
What you
is a
thought?
10-minute long video. So you guys are gonna get a little cut.
I'm gonna have to write down ones that I kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you guys know some. I should say they kind of fall into certain categories. There are about 5 or 6 that sound unique, and then some kind of varied. Like there are also 5 or 6 that are just like
The
real
same.
deep. 5 or 6 that are kind of just like, what the fuck is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Some of them sound so the same to the point where I didn't know they were different until
Yes,
within the last
yes.
couple of years. So
it's not going to be like a comprehensive ranking, but just
I
like
know me and
what you guys think.
me and
Yeah.
you have listened to them in the past, and I know I can I know I liked some more than others. So
All
Give it a
right, so we'll catch back up with you guys
Okay.
right after this.
Yep. We're cutting back in right now. So welcome back. We listened to all the horns. We're gonna do a top 5
oh wow, I gotta cut
of the
cut a
horns.
couple out here.
Yes. I think you guys kind of had different grading systems too, so
Yeah.
you guys can
Yeah,
get into your own individual like why you
Just
like
go
it,
around the
whatever.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we start with Alex. Like
Okay.
we'll do work around.
So my top 1 has got to be the Sharks. Mostly, I just enjoyed the fuck out of
Totally
their horn.
agree on it. It's such a deep, good horn.
Yes.
and then the music also
I-
good.
I didn't base it off the music at all. I just base it off the horns. But then I'd probably put the Avalanches at number 2. I don't even remember their horn right now, but I put them up there. I would think they would be
I don't
number
have
2.
them even on my list.
Well, I don't blame you. I don't get why I said that. And then I'd probably put Kraken as number 3, Coyotes as number 4, and the Wild as number 5.
I had Coyotes as my number 3. It's I may just because I'm a sucker for their logo that everybody claims is ugly, but
That's
I'm a
dope
huge
logo.
fan.
It's very cool. Very cool.
Huge fan. Yeah, I put Sharks at the top. Number one. I listened to Sharks again. That was mad respect. Then I put Bruins as my second. I kind of like theirs. The music. I don't remember what their music was. I just remember it just like really pumped you up.
It's the oh,
It was
Yeah.
Organist.
That song just fucking pumps you up.
It gets me pumped. It never fails.
Never
Yeah,
fails. You're right.
obviously.
Coyotes at third, but I think that might just because their logo instantly makes me think dope. That's fucking sweet. And then I put Hurricanes at 4.
Hurricanes. I thought you didn't like that one.
Isn't that the one the rest of you guys said you didn't like?
Yes.
It was the one that was kind of like, I don't know, it was real quietish, but I kind of liked it for that reason. I don't know.
It was weird.
I kind of liked it.
I don't know how to describe these horns.
And then
They're just horns.
I'm going to change up my order. I'm going to change up my order here because late in the game, I put Seattle's number 7, and then the music got better, so I bumped it up. So I'm going to put
Oh,
Seattle
jeez.
number 5.
Okay.
So Minnesota and Nashville got bumped off my top 5 list.
All right, Aaron. What's your top 5? I know you did.
He's got a really
You
weird
did a
grading
lot
system.
more
You can
than we did.
explain- You can explain your grading system.
Yeah,
So, kind
you're-
of get into
Explain some of your trash.
How you
as
did
well.
this.
Yeah. Okay, well, I got some trash.
The trash. You went into the trash if your horn sounded like a train or a car.
The car ones are some of the worst. The train ones I can somewhat get behind, but just straight up being like a car.
The Capitol sirens, by far the worst.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
Yes.
My top 5 ones that I really liked. One, I gotta go Pens. I feel like
Rigged.
oh jeez.
Rigs.
I'm just messing.
I like Bruins as well.
Yep.
Sharks.
I think everybody.
I think
don't know
all
about
of us like
but
the
all of
Sharks.
us-
I'm gonna say Philly at 4,
Philly at 4. Okay.
and then I gotta go Nashville.
Nashville's was cool. Nashville's my number 6.
They were in my 6, yeah. So they were there. I guess they would have been my 7.
7,
they got
because
bumped
you-
down, yeah.
So I don't have a ranking order normally. I kind of just generalize them and then decide like which ones I like better. So I like the harmonized category. That's like the stars and the pens. I just picked the stars over that one because it's got some extra ones in there. Just goes over the top and it sounds really good watching on TV. In terms of the just like deep ones, well, not as deep as the Sharks. I like that one, but I'm just talking about like the general
The
deep
normal ones, I
you know,
guess.
like the Leaves, the Lightning. Else. Yeah, I kind of like the Lightnings. I do like the Flyers one. I mean, as often as
I didn't hate the Flyers one. I remember
Wait,
specifically thinking
Detroit? That is on my fucking trash list.
that's not the
No,
Flyers.
Detroit is the Red Wings.
The Red Wings.
Flyers
okay.
are the bright orange logo.
Yes.
Surprises me to say that. We should mention the only person here that actually watches hockey is Brennan, and he's currently wearing a Penguin shirt right now. Huge Penguins fan, and for him to say the Flyers wasn't so bad, it's very surprising coming from the guy that definitely talked mad shit on the Flyers.
Yeah.
You know, as
For
we
the
speak,
audience. For the
as
audience.
we speak, they're actually playing the Flyers. Sid scored his 500th goal on the way over here. So
you were listening to that on the way in. Okay,
yes, yeah.
it's kind of ironic.
Then in terms of the ones that I described as the what the fuck is this? Like that's the Nashville, the Wild ones, because it's like what is that? I like the Wild out of all those ones.
Which one?
Here.
Oh,
Nashville.
well, I guess they're not going to hold it or hear it. So we're all good.
Nashville. I put on as my number 7. It wasn't bad.
Nashville.
Nashville wasn't terrible.
I like
I kind of
this.
like that. That's not even a what the fuck is this kind of.
By Minnesota.
Minnesota
and
was
there's
number
this.
5 on my list. So
And then the Wild is kind of similar.
I liked this one quite a bit. I'm kind of glad or upset this one got bumped up my list, but it like I don't know has more going on than most of the other ones do.
But
Minnesota's isn't
like
too
those, I'm a sucker for the Boston one. I've got a soft spot for the Canadiens one.
bad. Brennan, how many teams are in the NHL?
3-2 now.
How many of them have you named that you enjoy? You're over top
Hey.
5 at this point.
That's why I said
I know.
I don't have a ranking.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
I like the Blackhawks one. Among the Pens' other rivals, I also like the Rangers horn, because that one's really cool to listen to, like on TV, and the crowd gets into it with their chant and whatnot. So, there's a lot of horns I like. I really hate the car horn ones, like Ottawa and Edmonton. I just like those ones.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Is there any horn like amongst NHL fans that everybody just kind of agrees on? Yeah, that one's trash.
Probably those two.
Those two. That's what I
Most
figured.
people don't like those. They don't like the Montreal one, but I do. There's a lot of people that don't like the deep ones because they don't have much variance and they just
I
don't
don't know
sound pleasing,
why,
I
but
guess.
the sound of a real deep foghorn is really ominous to me. But like, I have this once again a weird thing for creepy in a cool way, and that fits in that category for me.
Yeah.
That just I don't know. I just like that. The Sharks, big fan of that one. That one
Yeah.
made my number 1.
I mean, I will say that among people that watch the game, they also rank a little lower because you can't hear them as well over the crowd noise. So that's kind of
we're
why
just
they
listening
get
to
a
the
bad rap.
raw
Yeah,
audio.
we're just listening to the raw audio, and it doesn't sound as good in person or like
On
watching
TV.
on TV, which is where most people hear them.
Yeah, so
Oh.
yeah. Can't all go to an NHL game, Brennan.
Hey, you guys can go.
Actually,
we
I
can
think
go.
I had the option to go the year that you guys went to the first NHL
Hey,
game.
you
and I
did.
didn't.
You did.
Hey,
I wouldn't mind going to some Blue Jacket games. That'd be fun.
Yes, they've got a cool horn too. Well, I mean,
It's,
I don't think it's long enough.
yeah, it's
and-
very short.
But the cannon's cool.
Yeah,
I like the cannon.
Cannon's definitely sweet.
Yeah.
Some of them, I don't remember which one specifically. Some of them went on for way too long.
yes.
Like there was one in particular, I can't remember what it was, but instantly I was like, nope, this is starting to bug my ears. Nope, it's
It
enough.
was
I think
literally
it's the
a,
Knights.
it was a good 3 or 4 second
I think
straight
it's the
horn.
Knights.
It was.
Nice.
There's
have a really
a
long
couple
one.
where they just add.
It's like too long. Can't do it.
But yeah,
I'm
that
fan.
one does go on a little long. Yeah.
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 I love how everybody here can come to a consensus, though, that even though the Coyotes logo is considered to be a bad logo to some, we can all agree that it's a fucking sweet logo.
It is badass.
And it's an absolute shame because the NHL keeps trying to drive the Coyotes into the area. They don't have hardly any fans to the point where they're going to be playing at Arizona State University or Arizona State University's arena starting next year. It only
They only-
seats 5,000 people.
Really?
So why do the Coyotes not have not have very many fans?
Well, for one, it's just kind of a bad market. So there was a period in like the 90s where the NHL wanted to grow the game in warmer areas, where you saw the Florida teams come in, and then Texas, and then Arizona. Like the original Jets moved to Arizona because they were bankrupt. And then they just never got a following because they've never been good.
And you also got to think, Brady. A lot of these people that get into hockey, they're from colder areas where
Yeah.
you could play it.
Canada, bud.
Arizona, they
Not
don't
all
get
the
fucking
time.
ice.
Yeah.
And if they do,
yeah.
they probably all freak.
And they stay inside.
Yeah. They for like 3 days.
It's not like it can't succeed in like warmer areas because like the Lightning have been very successful and they
Yeah.
get fans, but there were also been times where they were very bad and no one showed up. You know, so if the Coyotes have been good for a majority of their history, it might have been different, but they're just a mess.
I don't know.
Sweet logo, though.
I'm kind of because I know.
Guess we're all becoming Coyote fans now. Just,
Well, hold on. Hold on. I talked to Brendan before. I need to uncover one year. I talked to Brendan before about NHL teams and why I was rooting for the Blue Jackets overall. And that's because they're an Ohio team We're in Ohio, blah, blah, blah.
Makes
He's-
sense.
Yeah. He says, well, if you don't really know what to root for the Pens. And I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
logical decision.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're
But,
going to win the cup this year.
okay. Yeah, but that'd be me, like, getting into football and rooting for the Patriots.
No, that'd be the Lightning.
The Lightning, do they win a lot?
Well, they've won back-to-back cups.
Into the Pens?
But yeah, but that's been a few years ago now. Like the Lightning are the reigning back-to-back champs.
Okay.
Like joining the Pens at the same time a couple years ago would have been.
Yeah. It's
Equivalent.
basically like instantly now rooting for the Rams. Just because I'm getting into football and they just won the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Pretty much.
There's-
But I would
there's-
say, yeah.
because like I don't know. I mean, I tell people I root for the Browns, but that's because my dad rooted for the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, they never really had a good winning streak my entire life. So I just tell people I root for the Browns so they don't have to watch the games.
I mean, that's the thing. The NHL doesn't really have Patriots.
I know,
So,
but
like-
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping on the bandwagon.
Right.
So if the Coyotes
So
were like in the finals or whatever you fucking want to call it for the Stanley Cup, would you root for them
I mean,
It depends on
they're
who
playing
against. yeah,
if they were playing against anybody else but the Pens?
But I do like the Coyotes. I mean, I don't like have a passion for them, but like,
I've got this odd thing for rooting for the underdog, and I'm starting.
yeah,
to
that's
like
what I was about to
Coyotes
say.
more and more.
That's what I was about to say.
well, Brady, you don't have to worry about.
fucking other fans are gonna go watch the game.
Fuck yeah, bro.
All right,
Let's see.
Brady, starting next year, we're gonna be here. We're watching every Coyote game.
That's what I was gonna ask. I forgot to ask this. I feel like Brennan is always listening or watching hockey, but that's just because
It's Brennan.
what is hockey's season like? Football has a season. Is there a?
It's pretty
So-
much the same as basketball.
Yeah,
So it's around October to June.
yeah. So, hockey normally starts in a non-COVID season around like early October, and then the finals typically end around the middle of June. Now they're going to be towards the end of June this year because they're supposed to have the Olympics. NHLers didn't go, but they had like all of February blacked out because they were supposed to be over there, and then now they just threw games into February because a lot of games guys canceled because of COVID. So generally October to June, and then the NBA is pretty much the same, except I think they start like a couple weeks
Except
later.
nobody watches that.
They start
so.
towards the end of October.
A lot of
Yeah.
people watch the NBA.
I know.
Actually,
Fuck
you'd be
LeBron.
surprised. Nowadays, they don't have as many viewers as they used to.
Actually, if you think about, okay,
I don't hear a whole lot of people. Maybe it's just around here, but talk about the NBA. But like, soon as March Madness starts,
everybody's
Okay,
watching.
Everybody.
March Madness is
That's
fucking
college.
phenomenal.
I know, drives people fucking nuts. It's all you hear about on the radio, TV, Instagram. Doesn't matter.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah, it's just who you projected to win. What's your bracket look like? It's
March
don't have
Madness
one.
is just the best thing that ever happened.
I've
to
never
the
actually
sport
done a
of
bracket for
basketball.
March Madness. I'm not.
I have done 2 brackets. One for school for like extra credit, whatever. And then one on my cousin's phone. Because he was like, well, I heard that if someone who knows nothing about basketball, whatever, has a higher chance than anybody that knows if they build a bracket. And so I
Actually
was
kinda
like,
believe that.
I just made a bracket for him. I don't even remember who I put where. But I know the one in school, I actually got first place just by randomly picking teams.
Yeah, you have a better chance of that.
Well, I can imagine. Because I forget who was all in the class, but I know there was. And he was third. He was upset because I won and I pay no attention to sports whatsoever.
That's the thing though,
And he's
because
obsessed
like,
with it.
if you follow the game, you know how. In general, you know how teams perform, like the top teams.
Yeah.
like
But
the
there's
top
always
25.
an upset.
There is.
That's the thing about March Madness that doesn't happen in any other sport generally. And like Virginia got beat a couple years ago, and they were a 1 seed by a 16 seed, which would never happen in any other league.
Yeah,
So we wouldn't predict that.
I would.
I've already, even though we're in mid-February, I've already heard people talk about March Madness and stuff. I don't know how far away we are,
Well,
but
It's actually right around the corner because
It's like
February.
3 weeks.
March.
Yeah, because
it's
then you
already
get,
the
like,
15th.
conference tournaments start like first week of March. Then they align all the teams, and then hey, it starts right there.
It's normally about the second week of March. Is whenever the selection is.
And it's odd because as much as we anticipate it and all this attention that's around it, it really doesn't last all that long.
It's 3 weeks, I think.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No.
even
It
then,
goes
they
in-
play
it
the
goes into
games
the first
in like
week of April. I mean,
yeah.
Okay. How many days a year are Christmas?
One.
How many months do we spend listening to Christmas music on the
Yeah.
radio?
too many.
Like
Yeah, too
3.
many.
It's in the Christmas season. Come on, Aaron.
Fuck no, dude.
That's the reason I hate Christmas. It's just because of that.
Ow.
I don't hate Christmas.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, no other
No.
days you can listen to Christmas music. I will die on that hill, and I will fight any motherfucker that argues. with me.
So, I disagree, but only because I listen to Christmas music more as a meme, I guess. So there was this
Is
one
it a
time-
meme when you listen to Christmas
I don't
music
listen to Christmas
by
music by
yourself?
myself, so no. And
That's what I mean. Like, if you like go out of your way and listen to Christmas
no,
music,
but
like if you turn on 106.5 during Christmas time,
You know what you're getting into.
well,
Everybody around here
is
does.
it 106.5 or
I don't think
It's 106.5.
Actually, it used to be.
it's
It changed.
103.3 now? I think
106.5 is religious
it's
now.
103.3. 106.5 is religious.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
they switched
religious
over.
talk.
So they
Like
went from
last year
oldies.
sometime.
They got given to a religious organization, and the oldies switched from 106.5 to 107.5 now. So I listen to 107.5 now.
I turned on 107.5 today. I'm like, I don't remember them being oldies. I thought they were like more rock.
Yeah, they
It was
were.
it was a good variety of
God.
rock.
I
What-
know.
what the- Where did 107.5 go?
I miss 107.5.
I don't think.
but I also like the new 107.5, so we're good.
Here, you liked 107.5? 92.9.
Okay, thank you.
It's not all rock.
Good variety.
It's
of
a good
hits,
variety
though.
of everything.
I don't hate one.
Oh yeah, I have 92
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
they're like top 40, old top 40.
So I gotta tell a DW
No,
story
like-
though. Speaking of Christmas music,
Oh,
because it's
fuck.
one of my favorite stories.
God damn it.
So it is a work story as well, but I'll try to stay away from the rants here. There was a time where DW cranks Christmas music. He goes back there in our back building and turns on a radio, cranks it full volume on Christmas music. Don't remember what the song was, but then he remembered that we had another radio as a spare. So he goes and gets that one and plugs it in the other side of the building, cranks it full volume on Christmas music to the point where people all the way across the lot in the other building could hear us playing Christmas music. Our boss comes walking in, and he's trying to talk to us, and you can't hear shit. It's just Christmas music. So he goes over to the radio and turns the radio off, and he didn't know the other radio was at the other side of the building, still cranking music. And you should have seen the look on his face of confusion when the music didn't really get that much quieter. And we were trying so hard not to laugh our asses off.
Oh, I would
He
have.
still had no clue where the music's come from because the radio was kind of sitting on the ground, like next to one of our balers, so it was kind of just half-ass hidden. And he ended up just talking about what he was going to talk about and walking away. And me and DW just started laughing so fucking hard.
Okay,
Oh man, I love that.
background for the audience. Our boss likes to plug all of our diesel engine our boss likes to plug all of our diesel engines in at night
During the cold
during
season.
cold season. One of our skid loaders, he plugs in to an extension cord that is not plugged into an outlet.
He doesn't know it's not plugged into the wall.
He ran the
So-
cord himself.
It's ran through an extension cord,
Oh,
but it's not plugged in the outlet. Like it's literally, it's like 100-foot extension cord. And it's probably over 100.
It's probably like 150 to 200 foot.
They wouldn't
But
be getting much.
But he
juice that
only
way
uses, it only goes about 20 foot, so it's coiled up a bunch. But then at the other end, it's also coiled up a bunch, and then just not plugged into anything.
anyway.
And nobody wants to tell him.
No,
because
nobody's told him.
It
Does it
doesn't.
turn on?
No.
Yeah, The skid loader does.
The skid loader turns on.
It's a
It
brand new
doesn't
skid loader.
need-
It has no business
Okay.
needing a block heater.
No. Stop.
in a building.
It was built to work without a block heater in cold seasons.
Like,
Okay.
So he paid to have one added on afterwards so he can plug it in.
we've had it for an entire year at least without a block heater and had no issues.
Okay.
He was just determined on having a block heater in it
Yes.
So he paid extra money.
to get a block heater put in it, and then
So
now
he
plug
paid,
it
he
in.
paid extra to not have the block heater, and then he paid extra for the block heater.
Yes.
Yeah, just to
What
not
the fuck?
have it plugged in. Same thing with one of our new trucks. He kept plugging that in religiously every time we were done using it, and the other end was never plugged in. It stayed like that for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I
And
guess
it always
was
starts. It's not like it needs plugged in.
There was 2 extension cords that were plugged in together to make them long enough to reach to the outlet, and they were just unplugged from each other in the middle. He had no clue. We left it like that for a while because unless something actually needs a block heater, we don't worry about telling them. Now, some of our old skid loaders, yeah,
They need it.
needs it. We'll fix an issue with that if we see it. But some of the other stuff, we just leave it until he realizes it.
We haven't even told his son because his son hasn't realized it.
We even have a forklift with block heater nowadays for some fucking reason.
Yeah, and he plugs that one in too.
I'm actually not 100%
Okay.
sure that some of the outlets with the block heaters plugged in actually, I know.
Okay.
Some of the block heaters actually plugged in if the outlets stay on overnight because he turns certain breakers off overnight. And I'm not 100% convinced that those outlets are not on some of the breakers he turns off. Yeah.
Yeah. For the audience, background of our boss.
Yeah.
Give you an idea.
Because he will get brought up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a goof.
He's good at running his business. He is. No, because we can't drop his name and I gotta bleep that.
I've said his name a couple
He was
times already,
muted, I
but
think,
know.
weren't you?
It doesn't matter. I'll still have to go through.
I
Oh,
thought you guys said his name.
We did.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to bleep it.
okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to come up with a nickname for him or something to.
The R man.
What did
Let's
they
call
used
him
to
Boss.
call him? Matt. I'm not gonna say his last name.
Just call him Weasley.
Matt used to call him Fat Man with the red hat because he used to wear a red hat every day, and it was like a joke, is basically calling him Santa. But he doesn't wear a red hat anymore, so he can't really go for that.
No. I'd just say the R man or our boss.
I think our boss is probably the better way to
Yeah.
go. It's pretty safe.
It's very general.
Aaron's boss, on the other hand, fucking straight up good dude, motherfucker. Yeah,
I talked to him about you guys.
nice guy. He can come back anytime.
He's like,
I'm
I
sure he
will
will.
come back.
Mad respect to your boss.
Oh, okay. Now we're off the work rants.
I like Brennan's boss too. He's good at pool.
I don't think that's Brennan's boss.
Oh, okay. Brennan's business owner. What do you describe?
He's
it?
good at pool. He shot pool with you guys or what?
Yeah, he played it at that time.
Oh,
And he was like one of the only people that keep up with my dad.
cool.
I think that was the year you didn't go to Trader Days. They played.
That could be.
I think that's the only time I've ever met him in person.
Okay. Well, we are at an hour 24.
I think we actually made it to our time.
That's a pretty good time.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just like buffer stuff. We filled it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think
I-
the rule should be from now on that Brennan brings the topics and we just talk about shit because he does a damn fucking good job at bringing in good topics.
Well, it helped when it was a topic that I could at least talk about.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay.
And
The
I hate for it
first
to
recording
be,
we have,
well,
that was the best episode
Nosferatu.
recording that we have ever had.
I know, but
And I am so pissed that I messed it up.
But I would hate for it to be like all these times I bring in
Well,
topic like
Your
this,
topics are
and then you
good,
guys
though.
are just like reacting to something with me like ranting. Because
yeah, okay.
I could go on about that stuff. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but during yours, somehow, we got off Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
And got onto SpongeBob stills
We still haven't
weird.
really technically talked about them on podcasts.
I know.
So that's the thing here. So,
But like we talked about all this other stuff because we heard you say something and that just clicked. And that's
I
Your
think for next-
podcast or you're right.
you bringing your topics in gets us to talk more.
Your topics
Okay.
bring up other good
Hey,
topics.
I could do
Yeah.
that. I could do that.
There. I'm editor.
Lead content creator.
Brennan's lead contact creator.
After all last week, Brennan said like 3 sentences.
Yes.
This week I tried my damnedest to try not.
Well, I tried to reach over and stop you.
I know. I was gonna
That
stop
was
after
before
that
we
one.
invented the Brady rule.
Yeah, that was before we invented the Brady rule. Okay, Aaron, your new
No.
job is to tell us when we're recording. Because me and Brady both forgot.
So we were recording.
Yeah, we couldn't remember if we recorded last week or
Huh.
not.
Oh,
I remembered.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I know you do remember.
Oh, yeah,
write that on.
because-
Basically, your just job is just every other Tuesday. Just remind us that we're recording.
No, I will because last week I was actually really looking forward to coming over.
yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, it's not our Tuesday.
I just have to mention you mentioned the, like, can I just hit you in the back of the head there? One of my biggest pet peeves for some random reason is just like unexpectedly getting hit in the back of the head. Doesn't matter how hard it is, but like I literally want to whip around and fucking just deck whoever the fuck did that anytime I get just tapped in the back of the head without me realizing it. Please don't use that against me because that pisses me off. Like, there's been a couple times in my life where somebody, like, accidentally or on purpose, you were a kid, doing stupid stuff, you get hit in the back of the head, and I don't know why, just instantly it just pisses me the fuck off.
Rage.
When it's like unanticipated, I hate that. Like, if my parents were ever the kind of parents that whenever I was doing something bad would have just knocked me in the back of the head, holy shit, I'd have had an issue when I was a child because that just fucking makes me mad.
You know how most of us, if we're dreaming and like off a building, wake up, happens to Brady when he gets slapped on the
It
head.
actually is a very similar feeling. It just makes me mad.
Fuck! Someone slapped me in the head.
Speaking of dreams, I don't know if you're gonna put this in the podcast or not, but I just want to mention.
we could go as long as you guys want.
So Brennan, do you know the name of the song where they sing "Teenage Wasteland"? It's not called "Teenage Wasteland."
It is
Bohemian
Bob-
Rhapsody by the Who.
No.
It is by the Who, yes, but it's Bob O'Reilly.
Okay.
Bob O'Reilly.
so
Not Bohemian Rhapsody. That's the Queen. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
So I had a dream last night. It was super weird. It could have been any song, but it happened to be that song because it was stuck in my head yesterday. But I had
song to
a
get stuck.
dream that just the part where they sing about Teenage Wasteland was stuck in my head, and I was like, "Yeah, that song stuck in my head," and everybody was like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and nobody knew the song I was talking about.
Okay. Whoa.
And then I was
I know
looking
you
it
guys
up.
said no conspiracy theories, but I honestly believe when you dream, you're not actually dreaming. You're viewing through the eyes of another universe, dimension, whatever of yourself.
And on that note, we're gonna close this week off.
No,
we can talk about
no,
that
no.
next week.
So I actually looked up, like, in my dream, I looked this shit up online and was trying to find the song, and it's like this song didn't exist, and it was still stuck in my head.
Yeah, like
And it was like, it was one of them dreams that felt super real. And it was pissing me off.
I'll tell you right now, I can't get on this topic. I never fucking dream.
Really?
I never do. It was so weird. I went on vacation one time with my family, and I fell asleep, and it felt like 5 seconds. I woke up, and it was 7 a.m. Never really had a dream since then.
Wow.
Not
even wet ones?
Not even wet ones. Like I never.
Okay.
Dude, I've never had a wet dream in my life.
That's fucked.
Okay.
this week, Aaron confesses all.
No, seriously,
All
that's
right.
kind of blow. I love having dreams.
All right.
Like,
All
very
right.
Alex
all
wants to
right,
talk
all
to
right,
you guys.
all right. Before we get even deeper,
You're right.
yeah, write it down. Thank you. Okay. This is.
I'll bring my Nosferatu cards next week.
You'll bring those? Okay,
Yeah.
we could talk about that again. All right. See you guys later.
All right, this has been the Borderline Hooligans podcast.
Bye.
Dildo!
Fuck you.